We will call to order the regular meeting of the Clarkston Board of Education. If you could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. McLean, if you could please call the roll.
Here.
Mrs. McGinnis?
Here.
Mr. Heyer? Mrs. Love?
Here.
Mrs. Egan?
Here.
Mrs. Crane?
Here.
Mr. Dean?
Here.
I'm here.
We will proceed. Now, this meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community hearing. There is a time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in agenda items 3 and 9. Item 2 is approval of the consent agenda. May I have a motion, please?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented. Support.
Motion made and supported. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Item 3, citizens' request to address the board. I see no citizens in the audience, so I think we can dispense with that. If anybody does come to the meeting, you will have an opportunity under item 9 to address the board on any topic. Item 4, superintendent update. Dr. Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. Mead. Very briefly tonight, we're doing the final preparations for the start of school. Our buildings are in great shape, as I had discussed this morning with Mr. Goodman, and our cleaning plans. We're moving ahead and getting ready to take possession of the brand new turf field at the junior high for our fall athletics. They're well underway, the construction work at our new junior high. And this morning, we welcomed our new teachers to Clarkston, approximately 46 of them as I was counting, that are going to be starting roles across this district. Next Monday, all of our returning veterans come back for a week of training and development, and then 2 weeks from today is the first day of school, so we're getting excited. The clock's ticking.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Ryan. We have no presentation items tonight, so we'll move to our action items. Item 6.1 is approval of personnel changes. May I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education approves the personnel changes as listed on the attached sheets.
Support.
Motion's made and supported. Any comments or questions for Mr. Lucido? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Item 6.2 is the approval of the revised non-affiliate agreement. May I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education approves the revised non-affiliate group agreement as presented.
Support.
Motion's made and supported. We did approve this agreement a few meetings ago, but there have been some job classification changes since then, which were part of the previous approvals. So this is so we can have one contract that has all those properly reflected. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Item 6.3, approval to offer the courses in our curriculum guides. May I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education approves the offering of all courses as listed in the district curriculum guides.
Support.
Motion's made and supported. This is a requirement of state law that all boards of education has to approve every year our course offerings. These various items have all been approved by the board in the past. This is just our annual reaffirmation of that. Nope, she is not. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Item 6.4 is approval of the purchase order for our shared time teacher personal development. May I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education approves the purchase of 400 group registration enrollments in the amount of $124,000 as part of our shared services agreement as presented.
Support.
Motion's made and supported. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Item 6.5 is the approval to adopt the resolution regarding the non-homestead millage election. May I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education approves the attached resolution certifying the proposition to be voted on at the November 5th, 2024 general election as presented in the attached Exhibit A.
Support.
Motion's made and supported. This millage question applies to non-homestead property only, so it does not apply to a citizen's personal residence. It does apply to a second residence or commercial or industrial property. The 18 mills that's being requested is what we must levy in order to receive our entire share of state aid, and then there is an additional millage that is only going to be levied to offset any Headley rollbacks over the next several years. Mrs. Rogers is here. If there are any questions, are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying, I'm sorry, this is a roll call, yes. Mrs. McLean, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Hyder.
Yes.
Mrs. Cybers.
Yes.
Mrs. Egan.
Yes.
Mrs. Crane.
Yes.
Mrs. Love. Yes. Mrs. McGinnis.
Yes.
Mr. Dean.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Item 6.6 is the approval of the school board, school bond qualification and loan program resolution. May I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education approves the repayment resolution for the school bond qualification and loan program per the attached resolution.
Support.
Motion's made and supported. Mrs. Rogers is here if there are any questions. Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, Mrs. McLean, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Love. Yes. Mrs. Cybers.
Yes.
Mrs. McGinnis.
Yes.
Mrs. Crane.
Yes.
Mr. Hyder.
Yes.
Mrs. Egan.
Yes.
Mr. Dean.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Our last action item, item 6.7, is approval of the bond project change order for some electrical work at the Clarkston High School. May I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education approve the construction change order Metro Electric in the amount of $55,000 as presented.
Support.
Motion's made and supported. These funds will come from our 2022 bond proceeds. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We have no report or discussion items. Item 9 is citizen comments. Are there any citizens that wish to address the board? Seeing none. Item 10, information items. Our next Board of Education meeting will be Monday, September 16th. It will be the third Monday in September, beginning at 7 p.m., our regular meeting. That concludes our business. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Support.
Motion's made and supported. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
10